which we call it a default. Okay, so there are few templates which are already created as an default for you, which you can refer to create new template or modify. Okay, so what we can do is that we can refer this template and copy.
Hello and namaste everyone. Welcome back to a new tutorial on the Cisco SD-WAN template creation. In this video, we will show you how to create the Cisco SD-WAN template, which will help you to achieve the configuration, consistency, and efficiency. That is where we will also share some tips and tricks how you can create those templates easily without getting a lot of trouble. So if you are new to this channel, we share the IT professionals or the networking related content. So if you have not subscribed to our channel, please go ahead to subscribe and hit the bell notification so you never miss the update. Don't forget to share this video with your colleagues and friends so they can get the benefit out of this tutorial. Let's get started.
Okay, so here you will go inside the templates, and in the feature you will go in the feature template, because you have to create a first small feature template. So here what is the option is that right now it is selected as a non-default. If you will start creating the one, it will show as a non-default. There is another category which we call it a default. Okay, so there are few templates which are already created as an default for you, which you can refer to create new template or modify. Okay, so what we can do is that we can refer this template and copy or can modify that. Okay, so let's say I say system. So first I'll start from system, because I need to create the system configuration, which is this section. Let me show you. So run system. So host name, system IP, site ID, and this information. So I need to create a first system template. Okay, so I'll go here and say system search, and there are multiple template for showing for system. VH system template. Okay, but for which model they are, it says these are the device model. You can see here, right? But if I want to create for my VS Cloud, I can do one more thing, is that I can filter all the one which is having a VS Cloud into it. So all of these have a VS Cloud, and this one is a system for VS Cloud. I can do one thing, is that create a copy, and I can remove the default one, because this would not be a default template now anymore. And I'll copy this. In fact, here also I'll see VH system template. Okay, copy. Now once you copy it, you can modify accordingly.
Not a problem, right? It's written ISR model.
Sorry.
Model number is written, device model number is written ISR, so that's not a problem, right?
So there are, I mean, this is saying that this type of this template can be applied on ISR or this range, viptela OS, LT viptela OS. This you should see somewhere the VS Cloud as well. So you see ISR 2000, and if you will keep extracting, it is having a multiple model. So it is not for a one device type of the. You see the VS 1000. You should see some of them for VS Cloud, right? So what does it mean by that? Same template can be used on these multiple devices, right? Clear? So it's kind of a multi-choice template, right? Now I have created the VS. Let me create for the OMP template. So after the, system, what I need to do, I need to create a OMP template as well. So I'll say copy, and simply I'll remove this part, and we'll say OMP is the protocol which we run here. So if you see right now, and it's not mandatory I have to create, I can skip that part. But if you see somewhere here, is that so run, and you should see somewhere OMP template is there. So you see the OMP. This is the protocol which is there. So I want to modify that. I'll explain the OMP how it does work, but just think of that it is a one template which I need to create, right? So I have created the OMP. Now, after the OMP, what I need to do, I need to create a VPN template. I need to create an interfaces template, right? So let's go ahead to create that. Okay. So VS Cloud is there. So there is a VPN 512 template. There's like just VPN 0 template, right? So I can just copy this and can say VS VPN 0 template, transport VPN setting for the VS version 0.1. Okay, I did that. Now I need to create another VPN template, which is a VPN 512. Indeed, I don't need it, but what is the setting of the device says that you cannot delete that VPN. So what does it mean by that? If you try to attach a template to the device which doesn't have a VPN 512, the device will reject because you don't have that. So that's the reason we have to create a VPN 512. So I'll simply say VH VPN 512 management VPN 512, right? Now what I need to do, I need to create an interface template. So what I need to do is that interface template be a security template. I'm not modifying security. Logging, I'm not modifying. Triple A, I'm not modifying. Okay, BFD, I'm not modifying. So here I have the default VH DHCP tunnel interface. This is for a DHCP interface, but I can modify that too. So I'll go ahead to copy this, or maybe I'll create a separate that one. Okay, so let's go ahead to do this. Okay, so I will go ahead and do select the only no non-system template. Okay, so system template says let's modify that. Okay, edit, and here you are seeing that all those models which it can apply. If you want to remove any of them, you can remove indeed. But let it be, the name should be the same. Now look what it is saying, that the site ID, this symbol is indicating a variable. So the one which you see as in a wireless kind of signal, which is a variable, and the variable name is a system underscore site ID, site underscore ID. If I want to modify that template, I mean the variable name, I can say something like that and it will be modified, right? So it's by default variable because Cisco understand the site ID cannot be a fixed, right? Similarly, the system's IP address is a fixed one. I mean the variable, but the overlay ID, they say that is the default. So default, they keep it a 1. If you want to set up something, let's say global something else, you can say 100. Okay. And that's where, so there are 3 things. One is a global, device specific, default. Device specific means that every time you have to fill it on each device when you are attaching. Default is something, a default value which is being provided by the viptela. Global is something you have to first time define in the template, and that value will be applied on all the devices. Time zone, I'm not modifying. Host name is sync system underscore host name. I'm good with that, right? I can go ahead on the location. I can apply the location. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Host name also will modify, right?
Right. That's the reason you see that it is a variable. You see the name. So when it will ask you to fill the value, this name will be seen here, and that's where in front of that you will fill your value. Okay.
Can you tell me what is global? I didn't get it. Global.
Okay. So global means that, let's say for an example, your process ID. Okay. It's not mandatory you will define the process ID different on each site, right? Then you can define a process ID once. Let's say you want to run a process ID 1 across all your WAN between your VH to the core switch. That's where you can say that, okay, my process ID 1, right? Similarly, if you want to say that, okay, I want to make my NTP server as in a global, right? That's where you can say that, okay, 1098.21.x is my global NTP server, right? So anything which you want to apply every device, which is that value is not default actually. So default is something which is recommended by the Cisco as in a given value. Global is something which you can fill up once and can be applied everywhere. Variable is something which you have to fill up each individual device.
Okay, so this global where we'll define, for example, if like what you call.
So for an example, if you go here, overlay ID, okay, default what it was, it 1, right? Now, if I say that, okay, device is specific, then this value has to be filled by me every time on each device.
right? Now I want to say that instead of a default is a 1, I want to make it, let's say 10. Okay, across all my devices. Now what is that is mean by that? Now instead of pushing a 1, now it will push a 10 to everywhere.
Okay.
Clear? So global is that me and any value which I want to apply across my entire WAN.
Okay.
Right? And that value can be anything whichever you want.
Okay.
Right? Location, I am leaving it default because I don't want to fill that value. So it will be a remain blank. Right? Device group, I'm not creating any device group. Controller group, I'm not doing anything. Description, I can keep it a global and can say that, okay, SD-WAN lab. Okay. So this name will be pushed on all of my devices inside the system. Okay. Console baud rate, I'm leaving it default. Max OMP session, I'm not tweaking that value. GPS latitude and like longitude, this value you can make it a variable which you can fill on each device. Where what does this will help is that it will be mapped to the GPS and will use the Google map to tell you that where your device is actually located into the device map. I mean in the geographical map, right? So I'm not doing all these stuff because I'm not going in that detail. Now tracker is something is the another feature which can track down your ISP and URL. I'm not doing that. Control session policy rate, nothing. MTU DTLS, everything I'm leaving it a default. I'm not playing around with all these stuff, so I'm leaving it default. Right? Route consistency, these few parameters I'm leaving default. Now my system template has been completed as a final. Right? Now I will create a OMP. I'll modify the OMP template. So I'll go here, edit. In the OMP, my name is this. This template is applied on all of these models. Now I'm using a graceful restart. OMP default value nothing. ECMP shutdown no. Timers, not modifying these timers. Advertisement, BGP off. I can say the BGP on. I can say the O. So now you see, if I want to advertise OSPF external routes in the OMP or redistribute OSPF route into the OMP, which is the external route, and I want to define as a global policy, I can simply say on. What does it mean by that? This symbol is indicating this value is a global, right? So this will be everywhere on each device. This value will be applied, right? I'll go in IPv6 here a little bit. EIGRP is new feature which is being added in this one. Usually, previously we didn't have neither the EIGRP, ISIS. Quickly, let's update this. Why this they are hiding IPv6? Not sure. Let me quickly check the. Yeah, it's off. I cannot do anything. So I have updated this thing, right? Now, what I need to do is that I need to update my VPN 0 template. Just quickly review because it is a default one. So if I need to update anything, I can modify at least, right? So it says that your VPN number is 0. Name is transport VPN, which is I'm good with fair with that. Enabling TCP optimization, all that stuff I'm not doing. Now it says that define the primary DNS. I need actually a DNS, so I'll say global and everywhere what I need 1.1.253, right? Secondary DNS, yes, that would be also my global. I want to say 8.8.8 because my DNS is not something which I need to define each site, right? It would be a global which will be applied on all of them, right? And then I can say advertise OMP. Nothing, I don't need to touch anything in this one. Network, I'm not advertising any network. IP route, I need an IP route in this one. So how many route actually I need is the multiple route or mean multiple default route, which will point to the different next hop. So I'll say add next hop, and next hop can be a variable. Of course, the default, let's say this time I'm using ISP1, maybe next time I'm using ISP2. That's where I need a default route. And that's where I'll say device specific VPN 0. I'll say VPN 0 next hop IP address 0, or I can say 1. So my host name is more readable, which I can read it. Also, I can add another next hop where I will say again
the device specific, and I'll rename it VPN 0 next hop IP address 2. Means if I need a more than one default route, this is what I can do. It can add. So what will happen that it will ask me to fill up those next hop IP addresses. Okay. Add. This is being added. Say 0.0 pointing to the select gateway configuration 2, and 2 are my variable information. This and this. Okay. IPv6 route I don't need. New service, I'm not announcing any service. Service route, nothing. GRE tunnel, nothing. IPsec route, nothing. Net. Okay, I don't need a net, anything on that. Add a new route leak from the global VPN to the service VPN. No, I'm not doing anything right now on that. Update. Done. VPN 512. Now in the VPN 512, let me click on a basic configuration first. So VPN 512, it says a transport VPN. Actually, this VPN I want to use as an out of band VPN. So I'll say OOB MGMT VPN, out of band management VPN. Okay. And this value will be globally applied, right? Next, I don't need to do the DNS, anything on it, anything in related to the network, blah, blah, blah. I don't need nothing, service route, GRE, IPsec, net, nothing I need. Okay. I'm done with that as well. Right now, what I need is that I will add the another template. So what I have done completed so far, if you go back to the device, I have completed the DC1 VHA. I mean the system section where the system IP, site ID, blah blah blah, and then further also I have completed the OMP. Now in the VPN 0 and VPN 512, I have completed the VPN configuration, but not the interface level configuration, right? So I can create the two interface and do the configuration for those. Okay, so I'll go back on this and say okay, add, and here in the add I will search. I can search my device VH Cloud, which is this one, right? And now since I need to do the interface, I'll go here and we'll look for the interface WAN or LAN. I'll click here. Okay. And I will say interface G0_0. Right. I cannot give the slash as an name. I can. Okay. No, I'll copy this. And it says, do you want to permanently set it down? I would say make it a variable, because somewhere I will shut down, somewhere I will not shut down, right? So I'll say shut down. And if you see that where I will shut down, let's say if you will go on the topology, on this one, I will not shut down, but on this one, I'm not using a G0/0. So of course I will shut down. So I'll make the that as a variable information. So I need to be very careful when I'm writing the template. So I'll say VPN 0 if, which if G0_0, right? Do you want to shut down or no shut down, right? Now the variable, I mean, when it will be asking me, it will ask me like to, give the value in front of that. So I can very much read it what it is. Okay. I'll say interface. Sorry, it asked me the interface name. I'll say only the G0/0. Description, I can say global ISP1. Okay. G0/IP address is my dynamic because it is getting the IP address from DHCP. So I'll dynamic distance, blah, blah, blah. I'm not doing anything. Now it asks me, do you want to enable the tunnel on that? Yes, I want to enable the tunnel. So I'll say global on. What does it mean by that enable the tunnel? Is that if you go here, it says the tunnel interface. So I'm talking about the enabling the tunnel on this one, right? So I'll say tunnel interface per tunnel QoS off. Now it asks me the color. So what color do I need? I'll say device specific. And here I'll say VPN 0 if G0_0 tunnel color. I'll reduce it to the values. Okay, make sense? Why I'm making it as in the variable? Because let's say if you go here on the topology, on this one I'm using as an abyss, that's okay. But what if I'm not using here G0/0 and I'm getting the tunnel extension from the other interface, then and I apply the biz on that one and this one also, then it will throw me error. I can keep the ones only the same color on the one device, right? So what I did is the VPN0 if G0/0 tunnel color restrict, I don't want to make it a restrict, so move on. I will not tweak any of these value. Allow services, I can say allow all for a moment. Okay, I can do the specific allow. And what does it mean by the allow here? Is these services, the one you see allow services, blah, 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 blah. Here. So instead of I'm allowing this or denying that, since I'm working in the lab, I'm allowing all. But if you are in a production, you can carefully allow versus deny the stuff, right? And now it asks me the advanced option. In the advanced option, it is asking me, what do you want? The encapsulation IPsec. Okay. IPsec preference. Do you want to set up any IPsec preference? I'm saying that yes, I want to set up as a VPN0 if 0 tunnel IPsec preference. If GE0_0 tunnel IPsec preference. Next, I will go on the nothing last resort net refresh interval. Nothing hello interval default. Do you want to enable the net? Yes, I want to enable the net. And I told you why do I need to enable the net? Because I am building the tunnel over the, so if you go back on this topology indeed, so if this guy will try to make the tunnel with the 192.10.0.0 or 10.1 will come on this device, but 192.10 is a private range which is not further being advertised to the outside. Sorry, this 169.0.0/24 will try to make the tunnel. This is not routed on the public cloud because this is my private range. So it has to be netted on the GE0/0. Okay. So I'm saying that, okay, net it. And I can say respond to ping on. Port forwarding, static net, blah, blah, blah. I'm not needing ECL, QoS map, nothing. Good. T-log extension, Xconnect, nothing. Okay. So far I have created interface. I'll rename this in a same manner like a VH so that okay. So I have created a for G0/0. Now I will create another interface, which is a ETH0, right? So I'll go ahead and we'll create that. Add new template. ETH0, sorry, VH Cloud. And we'll come down and we'll see, click here. I will say VH interface ETH0. This interface doesn't need anything more, so I'll say shut down. I'll say global, no, because I don't want to shut down it. Next, I can say the interface number ETH0. Okay. Description I can globally define, can say OOB, MGMT, and INT, or I will leave it over OOB, MGMT. Okay. It will be a dynamic, right? Next, everything I don't need it. Tunnel I don't need it. If you see here in the configuration, Did you try to log in on that? Okay, anyway, so I'm good with that. I'm not doing anything on this. I'll let it see. You've done something here. Ping 10.0.2.42. Yeah. So here I'm just finishing the VPN 0 ETH, VPN 512 ETH 0 interface, and you can see it here. Now, if you want now further, since looking on my topology, I will create another template, which is G0/1 going towards to the MPLS. Okay, so I'll say add, and maybe I'll copy this one. That will be better option because I just need to, change the interface. So I'll say G01. And here G01 is this guy. We'll modify this. We'll click on edit. Again, modify that to as what the changes I have to made it. So I'll start from the beginning. Let it be complete the load basic configuration. So here I'll say interface number. Sorry, I'll click from here. We'll modify the variable name because if the variable name will be confusing, I cannot give the right value. So I just will keep it G0/1. I'll say ISP2. IP address for the MPLS, this interface is actually a very static. So I'll say device specific VPN 0 if G0_1. Okay, underscore IPv4. Here I will go down bandwidth and all that stuff. I'm not defining tunnel. Yes, I need it. Here on the color, I will change the name. So I'll say 01. And let me quickly modify this IP address name as well. I'll say G actually. So it's one line error. And of course, you can give the any name which you feel is more readable for you or your colleague, right? You can say restrict. Yes, I want get that to be restrict. So I'll say global on and okay, so rest everything is good. This is good. On this one, I don't need a net. So I'll say global of, okay, because it is a private link and on the private cloud, I can advertise my private subnet. So I don't need a net on that one. Rest everything seems okay. Let me go double check that. Yep, I'm good with that. So far what we have created, the tunnel interface towards to the WAN side, right?
That's all for today's tutorial on the Cisco SD-WAN. We hope you found this video helpful and informative. I hope this has been helpful to create the template into the Cisco SD-WAN. If you have any question or comment, please leave them in the comment section below. We would like to hear your feedback and suggestions. And of course, don't forget to subscribe our channel to get the more exciting videos on the networking. Also, please share with your friends so they can get the help. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next video.